Republican who's defending letting parents marry off 12-year-olds, actually defending it. Republican Missouri State Senator Mike Moon. This is defended the rights of parents to marry off children as young as 12 years old. Yes, pre-teens is who we're talking about here, but I'll let Mr. Moon defend his own position.
I've heard you talk about parents' rights to raise their kids how they want. In fact, I just double-checked. You voted no on making it illegal for kids to be married to adults at the age of 12 if their parents consented to it. You said actually that should be the law because it's the parents' right and the kids' right to decide what's best for them to be raped by an adult. Okay?
Do you know any kids who have been
with
married
marriage
at age 12?
That was the law. You voted
kids,
not to change it.
Do you know any kids who have been married at age 12?
I don't need to.
I do. And guess what? They're still married.
Gentlemen.
Shut up, Mr. Moon. It's just so ignorant and so pathetic. And it is rape. I don't care what law's on the books, even in Missouri. What on earth are you talking about? Well, I'll tell you. Moon made the remarks during a contentious debate over banning gender-affirming care for transgender minors, in which Democrats State Rep Peter Meredith, that's the voice you heard first, accused him of hypocrisy for supporting the bill despite positioning himself as a champion of parents' rights. You see, this stuff never adds up. It's incongruent, if you will. Most states do have, we should tell you, a minimum marriage age of 16, and advocacy groups have called for all states to set the minimum age to 18, with no exceptions. That's from Newsweek. It was in 2018 that Missouri passed a law raising its marriage age from 15 to a generous 16 that requires parental consent for older teenagers to marry. A bill that Moon said, it's too strict, opposed it at the time. So Moon's horror show comments prompted much reaction, if you will, from quote unquote normal people out there, including Jess Piper, executive director for Blue Missouri and a nominee for state rep. The fact that Missouri Senator Mike Moon said that 12-year-old girls can be married off to adults just sickens me. My daughter is nearly 11 and still plays with Barbies and her baby dolls. We're living in a hellscape in Missouri under a GOP supermajority. I think that's about right. It's a hellscape. If you have lawmakers who are spewing that and nobody's leaping over the next desk to tackle them and maybe put them in a straitjacket and say, we've got to deprogram you and whatever's going on here. Other Twitter users followed suit, displaying more common sense. The picture gets me too. It's like, is this some crass HBO type series that we're watching that's not really true? Well, no, it's true. And there you see the other comments. Okay. The Missouri Senator, Mike Moon, he is an advocate for the marriage of 12-year-olds to adults. He says their marriages are long lasting when they marry as children. I guess with no education or options, that makes sense. Kind of like having a prisoner. Yeah, that's what it's called. Another user posted this. What in the world was that? Senator Mike Moon, proud of the fact that he voted to protect the ability of 12-year-olds to be married to adults. He spoke of someone he knew that married a 12-year-old and declared gleefully they're still married. Now, Jessica, first of all, I want him to name this couple. And not because I don't believe him. I actually think they may exist, sadly, but because we need to rescue this woman. We need to rescue the product of this marriage he speaks of, no matter how long ago the nuptials were performed.
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, Mike Moon seems like a cartoon villain, especially with the mustache. It doesn't seem like a real person. The writers for the show of U.S. American politics it's really something rich, better than fiction. The only appropriate response that could have come from, do you know how many children got married at 12 years old? Do you know the number? I was expecting upon first watch 0. That would have been acceptable and made me feel better, not they're still married. That makes me 10 times more concerned and disgusted that this law is real. And this is coming from the same party that's pushing the denial of abortion rights in their state. So not only can you be forced into a marriage, you can be forced to carry a child under the United Nations definition of what a human rights violation is for forced pregnancy. This situation would absolutely qualify. So that's terribly concerning about the state of our nation. And it's coming from a party of people who are talking a lot about where are manly men? What happened to manhood? It is not divinely masculine of you to want to manipulate someone into marrying you who can't consent and then force them to have your child. Is that what you think a manly man is about? You shouldn't have to force someone to do that. To me, masculinity would be about, leadership, strength, courage, making the people around you feel secure, not about forcing people to do things as a display of power because it's in your self-interest. That's disgusting.
It's disgusting. It is horrific. And Peter Meredith, for him to be the only one, that lawmaker who challenged him and took him to task, and then he had a chorus of people again saying, yeah, you. I think that the silence here is deafening.